Another really good week. I thought our guys are again. I don't know what's being said or written, but we added 10 minutes to practice on Tuesday and went live and inside and did a tackling drill. That was about the only change that we made in order to get us back to the level of physicality that we expect around here. And I thought, our guys responded really well for the last 2 weeks, and had another really, really good week. I think, we're ready. Obviously, this will be the best defense, right up there with Oklahoma that we played. They're in the top 10 in rush defense, or top 20, excuse me, I think, in rush defense, pass defense, and total defense in the country. So it'll be a challenge on that side of the ball. I think defensively, we're excited to get these guys for another week in terms of the guys that are going to be out there playing for us, and get them coached up and hopefully get the bad taste of last week out of our mouths. Questions?
Injuries, Coach?
No, nothing's really changed since Monday. DeMarvion is kind of game time. He was in a green jersey all week, as well as BJ. BJ's a tough son of a you-know-what, but he was visibly limited in the game against Kansas, and so we spent a week, not banging that shoulder up. So, we'll see where he is and how he feels at game time.
Jalen, did he practice?
Jalen practiced the whole week, yeah.
So he's good to go?
Jalen is, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is Whittington, has he had any setbacks recently?
He has not. I honestly, this week would have been very optimistic. That would have been on the optimistic side. But I fully expect, barring any setbacks, that after, I don't know who we play after the open week, but that week would be, when we would expect to see him.
And the last one, there was a lot about Brandon Eagles this week. Did he just basically miss a day for personal reasons, and then was at practice?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Was at practice Wednesday. Every team activity, as well as Thursday today. Had a great practice today. Yeah, it was great.
Tom, what challenges does a Gary Patterson defense present?
Well, I know one is, their experience in the back end right now. 4 of their 5 starting DBs are seniors, which is in sharp contrast to what ours are currently. But, so just the experience in that defense. And Coach Patterson is he's going to do what he does. He's about 15% pressure on first and second down, not a whole lot. He's going to play 4 down quarters, and he's going to have every adjustment, and you're not going to out-scheme him. You're not going to find a formation or a motion or anything like that that's going to get him out of position. They're extremely sound. And then I think what they do up front, well, obviously Blacklock is, as good a defensive tackle that there is in this league. But what they do up front with all of the movement in front of that quarter's coverage, makes it really difficult to, sink double teams in and really try to push people vertically off the ball, because they're moving around so much. So I think just the experience, the simplicity of it. They run and they tackle well. They know where they're going to be. They know where you're going to be, and then the front movement stuff, can be an issue if you're not prepared for it.
What are your thoughts on Duggan? He may not have a lot of yards, but he has no interceptions either, so he must be doing something okay.
Yeah, he's managing the game, as good as you can for a true freshman, I think. I really think, their offensive staff is doing a good job in terms of not overloading him, not asking him to do a whole lot. It's not like they're, going empty protection, you know, the whole game or anything like that. It's fairly conservative, and it's working, and it's smart. You know, they've got 4 senior offensive linemen. They've got 2 really talented running backs, and then but you've also got one of the most dynamic playmakers in our league. You know, that they do a good job moving him around and trying to get him the ball in space too. So, yeah, I mean, I've been impressed as a true freshman. He's played really well.
Coach, I'm curious, how do you balance your 2 realities, which is one, you would like to make some improvements on the defensive side, but your 2 losses are against 2 teams that could be in the college football playoffs. So how do you balance, you know, wanting to make change with realizing that your losses aren't necessarily bad losses either?
Yeah, we're 5-2. You know, there's sometimes, if you're not careful at Texas, that can feel like 2 and 5. So we've got to remind our guys daily. One is to tune out the outside noise. It's irrelevant, and it can do nothing to help us and have a large part in hurting us. And then I think you remind them that, guys, and here's the thing, we didn't play our best in those games. You know, certainly offensively, in the game in Dallas, I mean, we were, what was it, 86 yards and 3 points at halftime. So our best is good enough. Now, we as coaches and players, they've got to take some ownership in this too. We've got to make sure that we prepare each and every week to be at our best, because we certainly weren't on the defensive side of the ball this past week. And I would argue, you know, we made some really, really poor decisions in the fourth quarter as well offensively to not help our defense at the time. So it's just a constant reminder that, you know, you look around, we've recruited fantastically the last couple of years. We've developed really, really well. We got really good players. Are they young? Yeah. On defense especially. Are they inexperienced? Yep. But it's our job as coaches to allow them to play fast, use their athleticism, and then understand that the sky is not falling, right? I mean, we are plenty good enough that if we play our best in Fort Worth, we're plenty good enough to win the game. Now, it's up to everybody in the organization to play our best.
Tom, you talked earlier in the week about getting more starters involved in the kicking game. Did you implement those changes this week, and in what ways do you think that shows up on Saturday?
Well, hopefully it shows up in some more production in both return games. And you're going to see, you know, more speed, more experience, more athleticism. You know, Colin Johnson's, you know, playing on the front line on the kickoff return team. Keontae Ingram's playing on the punt return team. Some of the other, you know, Deli's going to run down on kickoffs, and you know, Juwan Mitchell's going to start, you know, on the punt team. So there's, you're going to see that level of athlete, hopefully, and I think it's experience a lot of times too. Those guys have played in some big ball games, and they're obviously starting for us for a reason, and we think that added element of experience and athleticism should help us get more production in those units.
Coach, how much of a luxury is it to have another bye week after this?
Oh, it's critical. I mean, obviously we never want to look ahead, and it's going to feel a lot better if we do what it takes to win the game that bye week. But certainly, you know, I looked at next year's schedule, and we play 9 straight Power 5 opponents without a bye week and without a non-conference, mid-season non-conference game like a lot of conferences do. And so I would much prefer this one than that one that we're facing for next year. And but probably the biggest thing is you're going to see guys like Jordan Whittington and Jeffrey McCulloch and hopefully Caden Stearns, and, you know, get BJ another 2 weeks to heal up. And so you're going to see a lot of guys that have been on the shelf the last couple of weeks have that extra time to heal and get ready for the home stretch.
Tom, with BJ's situation and the Morgan's situation, I would guess that meant more work for Owens and Adam Moore this week. And kind of feel just about the progress those 2 guys.
Really good. Right now, if neither of those 2 guys can go, it would be Owens and Estelle. But Chris has had a great week. Adamora, he's starting on all 4 special teams unit. You know, I mean, he's a critical piece in that puzzle. Tyler was starting on 3, and if he needs to start on defense, he'll start on 2. So those guys, you know, they both played quite a bit. Obviously, playing 80 snaps or 70 snaps on defense is a lot different than running down and covering kicks. I get that, but it's not like these guys haven't jogged into a ball game before.
You touched on it. I wanted to ask about that. Jay Witt, McCulloch, Stearns, anybody else coming back online after the off week? At least anybody that's down right now.
You know, Josh will be a while because of the fracture.
Foot, yeah.
I would imagine BJ and DeMarvion both. You know, I can't imagine them being out longer than that. Is that all we're missing?
Yeah,
That's not season ending.
Right.
Yeah.